Jason, it's always so fantastic to have the opportunity to talk to you. First of all, congratulations on everything. You're a busy guy. Hosting a game show, going door to door, giving away cash. Is this a lifelong dream?
The giving away cash or the game show hosting?
Well, both.
Well, yeah. Certainly the game show hosting, and the giving away cash has been a nice bonus, especially during this past year, as you can imagine, going to people's homes and telling them they have an opportunity to win $25,000. You can imagine that was overwhelmingly met with, happiness and acceptance. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, I have to say. And game show, I've always wanted to host in general. And, I've done a couple things over the years. I've had a few opportunities, kind of, guest co-hosting different shows and such. And then earlier in the pandemic, actually, I hosted a show called Cherries Wild that was on Fox, and then this came up, and it's been fun. People joke, that people learned how to make banana bread or a sourdough starter during the pandemic. I learned how to host game shows. Yeah, that was my pivot.
Well, hey, listen, if somebody came to me and said, want to host a game show, I'd be like, no problem. Yeah. Well, congratulations. It was fun to watch you do that. This role, wow. I did not like Phil very much. Not a very nice guy. He has a lot of things going on there. You did a tremendous job making me feel that way. And I wanted to ask you, look, people know you. You have done lots of drama, especially on the stage, no question. Saw you in Orange is the New Black, all these other things. This one is full up drama. There's so much going on here. Did it scare you to take this one on?
It's a great question. The short answer is yes. It scared me and it excited me because it scared me, but I, you mentioned that I've done other roles that were dramatic in nature, but overwhelmingly, my career has been, spent mostly doing comedic work. And, I've learned now, having done this for a little while, that part of the ease for me with comedy is because it's a way to hide, real stuff, right? It occurred to me, after spending lots of money on therapy, that it's a real defense mechanism. It makes me not, ironically, it makes me not have to feel so much, right? I can make a joke. I've just been able to do that in a way that has actually prevented me from really digging deep and having to access, I guess, emotions, right?
I get it.
So that's worked for me for a really long time. And, I've managed to do some roles in the past. In fact, when I was a kid, I did a lot more drama. Drama that I've done in the past I've been able to just rely on technical skills, kind of knew, or it was in the writing. I was just able to sort of do it without having to really access anything and, sort of cheat my way through it in a sense. Orange is the New Black required more of me for sure. And it was sort of the first time, I guess, in adulthood, certainly, that I at least attempted to, really dig deep. But this role, there was no pretending. I couldn't, for lack of a better, I couldn't act my way out of it, right? Like this sort of required a very real,
you had to dig deep.
For this. There was no, and I, and I knew it when I read it. And so for that reason, I was incredibly scared. But I also feel like at this age, I'm a parent now, and I've just lived more of my life that has sort of, affected me and sort of pressed all those buttons that I feel like I can, I just was really, and Lanny Zippoy, who is the filmmaker, the director,
and first time filmmaker too. So again, taking another chance, like she did a great job, But again, you know, you're a seasoned guy. You've been doing this for a long time, and then you jump into this ring with this first-time director. Again, like lots of risks, but I think it really paid off for you.
Yeah, it was a real, you know, I mean, first of all, you meet her, and you know, any sort of concerns or questions that you might have about her being a first-time filmmaker are gone almost immediately. You know, the
Yeah.
way she sort of presented this project, and the way that she saw it, and furthermore, the way she spoke to me about accessing those places, right, and about how she wanted to approach the character of Phil with me, it made so much sense. It gave me so much confidence. And that continued throughout filming. I mean, I literally every single day, you know, and obviously some scenes were harder than others. That final act, that big confrontation, of course,
Yes.
between
Yeah, I want to go there.
Ingenue and myself.
Yeah.
That was, you know, unquestionably the hardest scene to film. But she was right there with me every step of the way. She knew exactly, you know, for a first-time filmmaker, it was almost shocking how she had the language. She knew exactly what to say to get me to the places I needed to get to, and it was quite impressive. And yeah, she really held my hand through it all. And so, and again, so that coupled with, you know, just where I'm at in my life and my ability to sort of access some of this stuff, that's ultimately why I feel like I was able to do what I did. But
yeah, no,
I couldn't have done this 10 years ago. I mean, there's no question.
Oh no, and I get that for sure. And you know, I wish I had an hour to talk to you, Jason, but I gotta hit that final scene. I gotta hit that.
Make sure you get those couple minutes back that we lost.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm keeping an eye on it. It's all good. No problem. You know, that scene with Ingenue, first of all, I'm a huge fan of hers. Like, she's just phenomenal. I don't know if you saw Lovecraft Country, but
she's amazing.
Oh my God. Okay.
She's amazing.
So I'm watching this scene, and to me, it's theater. It's all theater, which you have that background. How did that help you get through that with her? Never mind the emotional, what was going on there and the words. I don't want to give anything away for anybody who hasn't seen this film yet. But holy mackerel, I felt like I was sitting in a Broadway theater watching two pros go at it.
Gosh, thank you for saying that. Yeah, it was very theatrical in nature, wasn't it? And you know, something else that added to that for us as performers was she, you know, filmmaking obviously is non-linear. There's no, you know, you shoot when you can get the location or whatever it is. But Lanny was able to schedule that for the end of the shoot. So we really did work up to that. So you know, while the other scenes were not necessarily in order, as a whole, for me certainly, and playing Phil, I was able to live with this guy and sort of take him on a journey like you would in a play, so that by the time we shot that scene, it really did feel like I had lived enough of Phil and this particular story to get to that place, you know, with Ingenue. And by the way, and she's, I mean, you know, I've been very lucky in my career to work with some really amazing people. And
yes,
you know, on the comedy side, I worked with Eugene when I was 19 years old, and
I know, amazing.
And you know, but this is one that I will continue to reference as my career moves forward in terms of helping, you know, sort of talking about the actor that I've become.
Yeah.
This was a moment for me working with Ingenue. I mean, she is
amazing.
She's amazing, and she's she's so generous. You know, she you know, this scene was as big for her as it was for me. I mean, there was no, you know, but she was able to recognize when I needed a little something more, you know, and sort of give it to me. You know, she knew what to say and how to. I mean, she's the consummate pro and just a crazy talent. But yeah, there was something very theatrical about it, and also, you know, not only did we shoot it towards the end of the film, but Lanny also sort of brilliantly, you know, she used multiple cameras, and we didn't break it up too much. I mean, she tried to let the scene go as long as it could possibly go. Obviously, some of it logistically, you know, we we were on the stairs at one point. We had to break it up a little bit, but for the most part, she wanted to let this scene breathe and go. And so she really gave us the runway and the space to sort of do that.
Yeah.
And that's a credit to the cinematographer as well, Darren Joe. I mean, it was just, it was set up. It's a great analogy. It was really set up like a stage for us to just sort of go at each other and do the scene in its entirety.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's so good. Okay, couple minutes and I have 2 questions. All right. So playing this guy, and he's a documentarian, and this movie couldn't be more timely right now, to be honest, because you look at documentaries like the Britney Spears and the R. Kelly and Robert Durst, and all these documentaries that we're watching as viewers are making a difference. And they are, they're changing these lives. Like now R. Kelly going to jail, Britney out of her conservatorship. Like, it's amazing. What did it make you think about documentaries and really what an impact they have on people's lives?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lot of good that a documentary can do, right? Shedding light on a situation or a subject that might not have otherwise been revealed, right? Changing people's minds, exposing truths that might not have been exposed. But it also sort of brings up a lot of questions in terms of the sort of moral role of the documentarian versus the subject, right? And that's what I love so much about this movie. I mean, I think this movie, there's a lot of questions obviously that are asked, and I thought she's the screenwriter, and Lanny did such a great job of it, of asking a lot of questions, not necessarily answering them, but asking some big ones, including the role of the filmmaker. And it's like, on the one hand, does he, go into this world? Is he maybe helping people in this world by exposing the hardship, by showing the unfairness, but then at the same time, he's actually perpetuating the unfairness, right? The disparity between these worlds, right? By putting up the lens and saying, I'm on this side and you're on that side. Does that sort of just continue this sort of thing? And, it's really interesting. I mean, I'll tell you, I love documentaries, but it certainly made me, so I watch them now in a new light. Let's put it that way.
I can just imagine. Okay, so just to wrap it up, and we'll lighten up the mood here a second. So you mentioned Eugene Levy. Of course, I can't not ask about him because he's a Toronto guy and everything. And when you look back at working with him, you're on screen, you're a big screen dad, and he'll forever be close to your heart. I know that. But I have to know, are you a Schitt's Creek fan?
Of course I am. I'll be honest, I haven't finished, and I've only watched some of it, but I blame my kids for that. And Eugene's okay with it. I've talked to him about it. He understands. But I love Eugene so much. I love that family so much. Yes. I mean, Dan, I've known since he was in high school. Yeah. I mean, I was just out of high school myself, but I mean, I've known this family for so long. Deb, Eugene's wife, and of course, Sarah, who was in the show as well. I was actually at the very first table read of Schitt's Creek. Eugene asked me to do the stage direction. So I was there, Chris Elliott was there, Catherine was there, Dan and Eugene, of course, and some other, actors, Sarah. And I sat there. First, when he called and he told me, he's like, yeah, Schitt's Creek. I was like, oh my God, that's the best title. But I sat there reading the script with these guys thinking, oh my God, this is so crazy. But mostly I was just so impressed by Dan. And just their relationship and the fact that they collaborated on that together. I just was like, that's what I want to do one day. This is before I actually had a son, but now even more so, I'm just like, oh my God, I want to create a show with my son. I mean, they have such a wonderful relationship. Yeah. It's so cool. And I was, of course, a little bit jealous too. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm the son you collaborate with. What are you talking about?
You'll always have pies.
Yeah, exactly.
Levy, always. What can I say? Jason, you know what? What a thrill to talk to you today, really. You're such a great guy. Always have been. Keep up the great work. You are fabulous, fabulous in this movie, really. And just best of luck to you and your family. Thank you so much for your time today, Jason.
Thank you, Bonnie. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.